Welcome to Hey Dad Podcast. Real dads, tough issues, and a genuine love for a fatherless generation. All right.
Heck, we're out of the gate.
Clap it in again.
Yeah.
Hi, this is the Hey Dad Podcast. My name is Chris Lawler. That's Frank Lamelli. That's Rick Rivera. We're dads. We're authentic dads. We've been there, done that, and we have the wounds and scars to show. And our heart is for all you guys that don't have a father or have a bad relationship with your father or just need guidance, need mentoring. We're here for you. Our hearts are for you. We're taking time out of our lives to give you advice we would give our sons and daughters about all kinds of topics. Yes. What are we talking about today, Rick?
Your first date.
First date.
First date. Yeah. Loading it up, asking her out, what you do, how you behave, what you do. You know, so you and yourself, or the advice, another category of people is those fathers who didn't have a father, who need to know what they tell their sons. Are they questioning themselves? Bounce your thoughts off ours, and then we'll share our thoughts with you. But first date, it's a tough one.
My dad never, they used to say they never told me about the birds and the bees. I don't know what they say now, but the first thing is, I don't know where I got it from, but I wasn't afraid to approach girls. But I remember my first girlfriend, and I was like head over heels. I remember that I did the whole card at school. I did the card and the teddy bear and,
Wait a minute, what's the card and the teddy bear? This is coming out of your culture. I'm not familiar with that.
It wasn't Valentine's. It was, I really liked this girl.
Yeah. And
for some reason, any other girl I would go up to and be funny and even just all of a sudden just be like, hey, let me take you out or whatever, But with this girl, I just was like, oh man, I gotta make sure I don't ruin this one.
You liked her, that's why.
I think I only have one shot, And I remember that I thought about this, and I don't know, I just thought I'm gonna get her. I remember going and picking a card, and I remember thinking I don't want something too cheesy, and I don't want something too like I'm like head over heels or something. But I don't even remember what the card was. But I remember it was a card. I put some stuff in it. And then I had a teddy bear. And then I remember that I was trying to pick the right moment. And it was during lunch.
How old are you?
I was 16 going on 17. I was a late bloomer, they used to say. And so I picked the worst time. I went and approached her when she was with all her friends.
Oh.
But I was like, I don't know, my timing was off. Everything was. And, I remember saying, I just want to give you something. I don't want to bother you with your friends right now, but I just want to give you this. And if, just read it and then you can let me know what you think. And that was it. And then it was kind of like,
what happened after that?
Way. And it was after school that even all her friends told her that they thought that was pretty cute and wow. And then she says, nobody's ever done this. And she goes, yeah. She goes, I guess we used to call it like going around or something.
Yeah.
And so we did that. We ended up being together 2 years out of high school.
Oh.
I really thought that we were going to get married. But after that, I remember going through the, like I'm going to take her. Because back then we had the roller rinks, we had the movies, the arcade, the mall. Those are the things we would do, right? So I had like plenty of ideas for dates. And I remember I didn't know how to roller skate, and I picked that. I'm telling you, everything was bad. But she thought it was hilarious that I didn't know how to roller skate, but yet I was courageous enough to take her. And she knew how to do it, and I was all over the place. But we had a great time because she was showing me, holding me. I couldn't get off the floor.
Oh, that's great.
So it was just
like a Hallmark movie.
Man. It was great. But those are, in our times, in my times, that's how it was, you know? And if you went to the movies, I remember we would even like.
So you're saying you didn't have an expectation you're going to get her to bed?
No, actually,
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't think of. She was beautiful, but I didn't think that that wasn't even a thought in my mind because
modern nowadays, I think that's right at the top of your head.
Well, most guys, our minds are in the gutter all the time.
Let me tell you
I mean,
something.
like
in health class, we learned about diseases,
STDs
venereal
and all that,
disease, all that.
Yeah.
It scared the crap out of me.
yeah, it's scary.
And we learned about pregnancies and all that, and then we had, I forgot what the name of the class was, but where you actually get to care for an egg, like it's your kid.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And how much work goes into doing that. And let me tell you, man, even my friends, my group of friends, because we're tight friends since middle school. That's when our little group, came together. And we all would share like, oh, dude, I never want to get a girl pregnant, man. Oh, I don't ever want to I heard that this stuff hurts and this stuff itches. And, so we were really scared of that.
Yeah.
Now, we had other people in school that were the cool kids, the Playboy kids, and they were already doing their thing. But, and they would egg us on at parties like, hey, she wants you. Hey, you can get her back there and you could do, and we were like terrified of that. We're like, no, man, it's cool. That
was a gift.
Yeah.
I mean, that fear was a gift from God,
man. And I'm telling you, my first girlfriend, I didn't look at another girl. I didn't want to be with other girls. It was solely just like, I was just like in love.
Right.
And I remember always just being there for her. Just like when we go out to eat, we have our little dates to go eat. I mean, we'd go like McDonald's or whatever, pizza, like a pizza place or something. And I would open the door and I would, sit, pull her chair,
Chivalry.
and things like that. I would do that, and it got me far. It got me far to where she always wanted to be with me. She always wanted to be around me. And I remember other guys, because she was pretty, so I remember other guys trying to take her from me. Mm. And I was very afraid of that. But she would always tell me, you don't have to worry about that. She would really, I guess she could see that I was like, I wasn't falling around like a puppy, but I really cared for her. And I would show sometimes, like we'd go somewhere and I'd be like, oh man, these dudes, man.
Look, brother, you made yourself really hard to kick to the curb.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to throw you overboard.
And even our breakup, I remember, because our families got to know each other. Mm. They all banked on the fact that these guys are going to get married. And I remember our breakup happened, and it happened not because of cheating or nothing. We were just very young. We were so young that when we graduated, all of a sudden there was a new world outside of high school. And things weren't like, it was time to mature. It was time to, and things were just not fitting.
Yeah.
And we just kind of somehow just grew out of that high school puppy love type thing. Mm-hmm. And I remember our breakup, both of us. We actually broke up together talking about it and then saying to each other, that we love each other so much that we want each other to be happy. So I'm just going to let it go. And there was, what is that saying that
if you love something, let it go. And if it returns,
And I use that. And even that other one that says, they said it in that movie. What was the movie that says where you complete me?
Oh, yeah.
Those were like really big things. And that's where those come, and they're cheesy now and they make fun of them. But those were serious sayings to someone then. And that was my era where we were doing that. And we never got back.
But you bring up an interesting subject, see, because I have two schools of thoughts on it. One is you could lead too strong. You could lead like, this is, you're putting all your cards on the table.
And I did.
And then the girl may make them a little afraid. It's too heavy, too soon, and guys tend to jump in a little hard faster than women. Yeah. Then the other side though is you want to make them feel special too. Yeah. So like where's a good first date place, because I went on one first date where we went to see this big long IMAX movie. That wasn't like, in retrospect, it wasn't the best environment. A simple cup of coffee, because now you could talk.
Yeah.
And you're not just staring at a screen. No, you're engaging. Sometimes simpler is better. It takes a lot of the pressure. Or even say, hey, so-and-so and his girlfriend are going here. You want to go with me and join them? Then you don't,
Yeah.
So that's one thing, I guess, one question I have, and I think they both have their place. There's a time to lead strong, hey, here I am.
Yeah, well, it's a matter of tactics.
Yeah.
The
Tactics, right?
you don't want to, you're not trying to find a wife.
No.
What you want to do is enter that exchange with the mission of making a friend. I want to make a friend that we can just have fun with.
But that's hard because you got all this anticipation and tension on you.
You do.
How do you lose that? How do you?
You just made me think of something. You're not trying to find a wife, but you really don't know what you're trying to find. Because
we don't, but the girls know.
Because you wear that out. It's like, and you're right. You hit the nail on the head. I think, and I'm pretty sure it got to be a little much, and to the point where she was kind of getting scared.
Yeah, because obligations start to fall upon her.
Because I was serious about
you're doing all this. No, what's he gonna expect out of me?
I didn't even know anything about marriage, but yet I was like, yeah, we're gonna get married, and she's like, we are, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
But I think it was that, and again, I think that's the reason why we shouldn't be all in.
Yeah.
At a young age, it should just relax, have a good
That's
time.
Good advice.
That's you don't be so quick.
Yeah, don't go with any anticipation other than I'm going to go enjoy her company.
Yeah,
I'm going to
and get to know that person. Well, look, that's easy for us to say.
Yeah,
boy, these kids now are living in a world where sex is on deck.
Yeah,
right away.
Yeah,
I mean, as soon as you even contemplate connecting with somebody of the opposite sex, you could be 12 years old and it's on deck. And it's not like, the idea is coming from you. It's coming from that culture.
Yeah.
The music you're listening to, the images you're seeing, the ideas that are going on in your head. We all have hormones. That's part of the human condition.
Yeah.
And that's been true for all time. But there's always been an understanding up until this modern age that hormones are a thing to be mastered, controlled, use discipline, and not overwhelm somebody. But now we're in an age where we kind of look back and we make these movies that glorify throwing restraint away. I was watching American Graffiti, one of my all-time favorite movies. I love that show.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
Great.
Oh, I'm so jealous of being you, because I would love to have never seen it and see that for the first time.
Okay,
but a lot of the themes within that were just this expectation that we're in the rebellion. Those guys were in the mid '60s, and that was pretty conservative by today's standards for sure. Mm-hmm. But even then, they were throwing off restraint.
Yeah,
looking for any reason to throw off restraint.
Yeah.
But to walk in with restraint, walk in slowly. Just go out to have fun, get to know her so you can get to know you. The one advice I would give though, I think if I was telling my son right now, is do something that you can talk, maybe with some friends, so it takes the pressure off you.
Yeah.
Don't
face
go
to face, not you two looking at
not
a movie.
Right? Not something like that where you're gonna sit next to each other.
Text.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But here's the other thing. Conversation. Like the fear is, what if we run out of things to say and it's going to get awkward?
Yeah.
It's easy. I raised my boys on this one. Just ask her questions about herself.
Yeah.
She'll talk all night.
Norman Vincent Peale.
Is that
that's basic. Right out of his book, How to Make Friends and Influence People. Number one is everybody likes to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
See, I never read the book.
Everybody loves the
knew
sound
that.
of their own name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you use their name and you ask them everything, and they can give you an answer. You ask for elaboration.
Yeah.
You can keep that going for an hour, and people never get tired about talking about themselves.
The other thing I think is really important is acknowledge, like, they go through a lot of trouble to look nice.
Yeah.
Acknowledge them and compliment them. Their earrings, their shoes, their dress.
I mean, don't show up and say, "You're going to wear that?"
I know, huh? Really?
Are you wearing that? Huh?
But really, those earrings are so pretty. That will light them up.
Yeah.
And they really enjoy that too. Just nice compliment, but they can't be like, you're the most beautiful flower that ever blessed the world for being
you can't be that.
You can't go that hard, but just simple, true compliment and be nice. And then I like what you said in the last episode. You're saying, hold the door open for them. And that's not in this culture. These boys do not do that, and they don't pay for dinner or meals.
No.
They did, and it's a little strange to them to hear us say this.
Yeah.
Do it, guys. Just step up and do it. Open the door for her. I even had one time a girl tell me, "Why are you opening the door for me? Well, you think I can't open it myself?" I said, you know what? You got me all wrong. I said, I just respect you more than I respect myself, and I want you to walk through
I
first.
do it every day. I'll go. As a matter of fact, today there was a young lady. She was a mother. She had a little girl, cute little girl, and then she had a drink holder with drinks, and she's like this. And I opened the door for her. I went out of my way and opened it. I saw it ahead of time, and I opened the door. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much."
They're shocked, huh?
Yeah, I was like,
I
what?
tell you, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
It's even to the point where they'll freeze. I do
Yeah,
it a lot.
she looked back with their daughter and her
Yeah.
child. Oh my
Right.
gosh, thank you so much.
They freeze and they'll say, no, you go first. And I always joke that I have this one loaded all the time. I'd rather die than cross this door before you. And it's just that little chivalry thing. And they walk up a little more lit, and so I do it to all
it
ages.
doesn't puff me up. It's just natural to me to do
Right.
it.
Exactly.
It's just like that's the thing you're supposed to do.
It's lost
But
in this
man, your
generation.
stock rises when you do that.
Oh yeah. Open the door for her.
But
Pull
and
her
if you
chair
have
out.
if you're out on a date with somebody that finds out a problem, finds that challenging, well, that's the way God tips you off that you look you're in over your head here.
Yeah.
Just slow the roll, become friends. You can be friends with any type of person.
Right.
They don't have to work out as girlfriend or boyfriend material, but they can always be your friend.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I see a lot today that didn't happen when I was middle school and school is girls didn't hang out with guys. There wasn't a group of guys with a girl.
That's true
And
for
now,
me too. That's
now,
true.
which I don't think this is bad, but then again, I'm not in this situation. I don't know how that works.
It looks suspicious.
But it's funny because every time I see a girl, like one girl with a group of guys, and I see it all the time, automatically I'm thinking, I don't want my daughter to be surrounded with all these guys.
Yeah.
Because for these reasons, I know what a group of guys does. They talk crap and they joke and they say things, but do they still do that when the girl's there? And she's just
Some
one of the
guys do.
guys.
It's way too much like a dog in heat with a bunch of
Well,
wolves
that's
on their heels.
I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. I feel
Yeah,
like I don't want my daughter in a group of 5-6 guys, because even in joking, like we used to like just shove each other, whatever. I mean, you don't touch a girl in certain areas. You don't do that kind of thing. But if you do that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's just like it opens the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are going to think I'm, I don't know, too cheesy or too crazy or too over the top, but it's just where I come from, and that's how I was raised. You would never see, you'd see a girl come over and say, hi, Frank, and hey, guys, are you guys going to go to the party on Friday or something? And that's it. Mm-hmm. But you'd never see a girl hanging out with a group of guys.
Yeah.
Because
If they
then that
do-
girl would be looked at very different.
Right. If they do, they're telling you something.
Yeah.
I mean, just use your mind.
And I think one of the things women look for in a man, when you get a little older, maybe not younger, maybe younger women are a little more shallower, but when you get a little older, what they're looking for in a man is, will he be a good father and can he take care of me? It's an instinctual in them.
Yeah.
So opening the
How
door,
much money does he make?
being polite, well, that's the thing. It's funny, when Copy started dating, I was so broke. I was still doing externship, and you don't get paid for that. I was broke, and God bless her. But anyway, but they want to see a provider. So you may not be there yet, but she could tell he's a man who takes care of a woman. He pulled my chair out for me. He opened my door. That was sweet. That things
I
really
hope
matter.
we're talking about the same kind of values that are present in the generation that's growing up now. Because I think if I'm a 15-year-old guy, listen to these three dads talk about this, I might be thinking, man, I would love to go back and live in Andy Griffith land with you guys.
But I can't do that.
But
now.
that's not the world I'm in.
Yeah.
That's not the girls I'm with. That's not the culture. That's not what is expected of me.
Yeah, but it'll make you stand head and shoulders above the other
Well,
one.
look, I saw
Or
something.
will it make you feel dorkified in your own generation?
I saw something
Good
the
question.
other day that I've never seen before. I've seen hundreds of T-shirts that say good things and awful things worn by young people. But I was at Home Depot over in I don't know. There was Costco and Home Depot together, so there's all kinds of people. This guy must have been, I'm going to say 18, 19. And it said on his shirt, And the front it said, I'm a virgin. And then the back it said, proud of it. And this kid was a clean-cut kid. I don't know if he wore that just for laughs, but I thought to myself, regardless, I don't know what's in his heart. I don't know if he means it, but I thought to myself, I think it would be cool to stand out. And I mean, you don't have to go around and announcing it. So I don't know what his moral, what his idea behind that was, but it just made me think. Because I know there's, even in my times, it wasn't all a bowl of cherries. I mean, you were made to feel like if you were a virgin, dude, what? You're gay. Or you're stupid, or you're a dork.
Yeah, you're a dork.
Or you know what? You don't like girls?
Yeah.
And so all of us didn't want anybody to know that we were virgins. Especially with my group of guys, they used to make fun of us when they would fight. We wouldn't announce it. But it was to the point where they would tell us something like this, for instance. They would say, oh, so you're getting some, huh? And we weren't, but we were like, oh, yeah.
Guys,
No, because we
lie
didn't
about
want to
it,
say
man.
no, because then it'd be like, what? And then they would even announce it at a party. This guy's not getting any, you know. And everybody's like looking at you like you're some alien from another planet, and nobody wants to
hear
be
that
around
conversation among virgins. Are you getting something? Oh yeah, I got 3 scoops. Yeah, 3. Whoa, okay.
you. So, but when I saw that, and nowadays you don't know why people. I mean, I don't understand a lot of the things that are going on and why young people are doing what they're doing a lot of times, because like these memes.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't get memes.
But when I saw that shirt, it wasn't so much about me thinking, oh, he's a virgin. I'm glad that he's doing. No, it's like, it just made me think. Like we're talking about, you said nowadays, it seems, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but from what I see and hear, sex is just like automatic, like boom.
Yeah, and
right
it
at the
means
beginning.
nothing.
That's sad.
And it means nothing. So I'm thinking, I mean, I think you're something special, man, if you haven't done that. And so what if people think you're a dork or the world doesn't accept you because you're not out there doing that? I'm telling you right now, you hang on to that. When you get married, that's when you're going to see that flourish and you're going to understand, man, I am so glad I never fell and gave in to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now is I didn't wait and I didn't understand. And when I started learning about that in the Word of God, and when I started hearing pastors talk about it, I finally saw why my life was a mess.
Yeah.
It was just a disaster. And you know what? It wasn't even about me, but I have kids. I have kids that were from my previous wife, and it's not a good thing. It isn't. They're damaged, and they're men, and those are the consequences. You know, versus being married, having your kids, both of you, they're your biological kids. You're going to have, nobody's perfect. No family is perfect. But when your kids are grown and you guys made it through the tough times, it's just the fruit that provides is just amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then your kids. And it just goes on and on. But I know we're talking about first dates, but
well, hey, let's roll back to the first date thing. What if you're on that first date and it's going bad? How do you eject?
You know, I like honesty. You know, I don't mind saying, you know, I feel so awkward. You know, I don't know if it's me or what, you know, and I want you to have a good time, and I just getting weird. I know that, and I'm sorry. That honesty is so refreshing. It kind of releases the hot air out of the room, you know, and like, okay, now we're admitting this is a little awkward, you know.
Yeah.
And you can well, you know, with honesty, there's no argument.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be blunt or disrespectful with your honesty. You could be kind, and whatever the situations is, be, you know what, I
when I was on my first date, my first date in high school, I remember her name, Sue Arthur. Beautiful blonde girl. And I didn't know how to ask anybody out. I mean, I was absolutely rookie and I had no dad to ask. My dad was just out of the picture. So I asked her to go to a high school basketball game with me and went and picked her up and didn't have a car. Actually, I think I got a taxi. And went to her house with a taxi and took her to the high school game, you know. And we both went in, we both sat down.
But you paid for the taxi.
Yeah, I paid for everything. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, am I supposed to be holding her hand? And
Oh my gosh.
there's no, they don't give you literature or anything, no rules to follow. But I'm sitting there, and then a bunch of guys from my football team were all at the game too with other people, and they started, "Hey, Lawler, who you got there with you?" Hey, and they just started teasing me, and it was unfreaking bearable. I had no way to respond, I didn't have any Fonzie chops or any, smart ass thing I could retort. All I did was look at Sue, and Sue was just like in agony, and I had nothing. It finally, at the end of the game, I just said, "I'm sorry, Sue, the way this worked out, I'm just really sorry." I didn't have any excuse or nothing. I never saw her again. And I think she was, very thankful that I never saw her again, but I just didn't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And
Well, how do you think the advice would have been if hey son, go to a soda shop and just have a French fries?
God,
and
only somebody would have told me that.
and ask
Don't
her
put
questions
yourself
about
in an
herself.
environment where you're going to be picked on by all your peers.
Oh yeah, a loud basketball game.
Yeah.
Go find the
No.
nearest vulture pack and sit in the middle.
Oh my God, I know.
It's like, that was
Good old
awful.
friends. No one's like your friends.
It was so awful. I couldn't even tell my sisters. See, I had older sisters. I didn't have a dad, but I had two older sisters. They were always looking out for me. Now, my second oldest sister, not my oldest, she would send her girlfriends through to me. She would package her girlfriends for me, And so she had this one girlfriend, name was Mary, and I just thought she was so beautiful, long brown hair. And I decided to take her out on a date too. But every bit as awkward. I got the taxi. We went bowling this time, that was an improvement.
That's better.
At least we're in a bowling alley and there wasn't anybody to pick on us. But I didn't know anything. I didn't know what the purpose was. What am I doing here?
What if you would have went on a double date bowling
Yeah.
with someone she knows and who's she's
I
comfortable
needed a podcast of dads to listen to give me throw the kid a bone, And, I had nothing up here, but I had everything down there telling me what to do. But I wasn't going to let that take command.
Yeah.
But all that anticipation kind of paralyzed you, didn't it?
It paralyzed me, yeah. So both those dating experiences are total train wrecks.
So I would have told you, one is, son, go in with no expectations. You have so much more fun.
Yeah.
If you're going to go bowling, is she quiet? Yes. Take some friends. Someone she knows is comfortable with. That'll loosen her up and you can talk to her better. And ask her, compliment her, give her a nice little compliment, and ask her questions about herself.
Yeah, that would have been a win for her.
Yeah.
Didn't really need anything else.
I would love to hear these women's side of that teach.
I know, me too.
Today.
How was your bowling game?
Oh, bowling was horrible.
Oh, it's funny.
You didn't yell out, "Get the chickens"?
Chicken, what the heck is that?
That's what I tell my son. My handicapped son, when we go bowling, is like, "Get the chickens."
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't know if we've helped you or hurt you. But we're praying for you, Lord. Here's some guys that are looking at their first date. They don't know what to do. God, we didn't know what to do, but you know what to do, and you know what you want out of those kind of relationships. So I just ask your Holy Spirit would be with them. You would embolden them to be the best version of themselves that they can be, and to make those meetings profitable and develop friendships and experience. Yeah. In the name of Jesus.
In Jesus.
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Adios.
Adios, guys. Take care.